He deserves the contract. He's played exceptional football the last 2 years, especially during the regular season. It's been the tale of one season, and then they get Sean McVay. And that opened up his ability to be able to throw the ball. I believe he's only going to get better. He's undersized as a quarterback as far as his frame and height, but he's one of those kind of throwers like Drew Brees. As he gets older, his arm strength will increase. So for me, I'm very, very happy for him. They had to do this. They've already extended the coach. They've already extended the general manager. And the last year, what have they done? They gave Todd Gurley. They gave Aaron Donald. This is the last piece. This is the cornerstone of their franchise. Those three players, that general manager, and that head coach, they have decided we're all going to walk in unison. So I'm very, very happy for him. And the way the Eagles, when the Eagles came up with Carson Wentz's deal, it just forced at the Rams. I don't know what type of timetable they're on. I don't know, did they think it was going to happen before the season? That kind of forced their hand. Dak Prescott, I'll be shocked if he takes a snap on Sunday with Dallas at 4 o'clock Eastern time, and he doesn't have a new contract.
Agreed.
This is part of doing business. Like, you cannot allow these quarterbacks to go out there and jeopardize their overall health. And if he's your franchise quarterback, and I was talking to Nick about this morning, I don't care what your definition of a franchise quarterback is. For the Rams, Jared Goff is that. So to me, it's not a matter of question of, is the guy a franchise quarterback in your eyes? No, what does the team think? Everyone's not going to be an elite thrower, not going to be an elite passer.
You can't compare skills between Wentz and Goff and Dak. It's about what he means to the actual Rams.
I'm going to try to avoid that because it's not fair. What we start doing now is we start evaluating quarterbacks based on their price tag. Well, Kirk Cousins, do you like him as a quarterback? Yeah, but you like him for $28 million guaranteed? Not so. But this is the price of doing business in the league, and we should be comfortable with these guys making this type of money. To me, Jared Goff earned it, took his team to the Super Bowl last year. Is he supposed to improve? Do I plan on him improving? Absolutely, I do. But him and Sean McVay going forward, I believe, is the right thing for the Rams, and I believe that their future continues to be bright.
We say all the time, you can lie a lot of ways in pro sports. One way you cannot lie those through your actions, and this action answers any question whatsoever. How sold are the Rams on Goff? Because when they were asked about the contract a few months ago and the general manager said that's not something we're worried about this offseason, when you saw the number 2 pick of the draft who hasn't played in a playoff game get a deal and Goff still waiting on a deal, when there was speculation about, well, how much is it McVay? How much is it Goff? What about how much can we just totally throw out his rookie season where number 1 pick or number 31 pick was just horrendous? But they answered all those questions. They made it very clear. We believe he is a huge part of our success. We believe that what he's done since McVay's gotten there, which is those 2 seasons averaging 4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a 101 rating, and maybe most importantly, at least I know to Chris, the team has averaged 12 wins per season, that they want this guy as their quarterback moving forward. So on the money, if Wentz got 32, he gets a tick above it, $33.5 million. I'm very curious to see how the guarantees are actually structured. Is it really 110 truly guaranteed, or is it more like 75 guaranteed with partial guarantees on the back end? But either way, they have now decided Jared Goff's going to be their guy. There was speculation, not just from me. Could the Rams be a team that would, if they thought it was more system and coach, that wouldn't pay a quarterback, that would go on the revolving rookie quarterback contract, where let him play 5 years, franchise tag him, and then try to bring in the new quarterback that they could then keep players like Gurley, Donald, Brandon Cooks, go all in as they did last year? The answer is unequivocally no, and if they're not going to do it, no one's probably going to do that, even if there's some speculation if that could be a good way to build a team. And one last point, because I'm not as sold on Goff as other people.
And you haven't been.
And one of the reasons is because I do wonder how much of it is the coach. And a point that was made to me last night, right after this contract was signed, I think it's a smart one, is in this specific instance, how much does that matter? Because Goff and the coach are now tied at the hip. Goff's not going to be playing quarterback for them without Sean McVay as his head coach. So even if it is that McVay is unlocking something in Goff another coach wouldn't, that holding that against Goff when McVay is locked in with an extension doesn't make a ton of sense for the Rams. So I get why, for the Rams, they feel, especially after going to the Super Bowl, they were going to do this. I am a little surprised they did it, given some of their offseason comments leading up to this.
So now that they're all locked up, and you have Aaron Donald, you have Todd Gurley, you have Jared Goff, what are your expectations for the Rams this season?
I expect him to continue to improve as a quarterback. I expect them to win their division. I expect them to be in the playoffs. I expect him to lead his team to the playoffs for 3 straight years. I believe he's more than competent. I believe he's only going to get better throwing the football. Nick made a point that he thought it was the coach. Well, when Cooper Kupp got hurt, what did the coach do? Why didn't the coach come up with something if it was the coach? Because I've seen guys do this. Quarterbacks that we necessarily don't understand, or they don't have the intangibles, overall arm strength, that some of the other guys. If the coach is good, we give the coach the credit. I remember Donovan McNabb in Philadelphia. Oh, man, Andy Reid unlocked his talent. Andy Reid. Donovan McNabb should get some credit. Tom Brady, first half of his career, they said the same thing they were saying about McVay. Oh, it's the coach. It's the coach. Well, it comes out that Tom Brady had something to do with that. And I just think that we get into this evaluation of young players, and it becomes hard. Yeah, every good player would love a great coach, but that's not necessarily going to happen. So for me, he's a talented thrower. That's why he was the first pick in the draft. That's how you're able to win that many games offensively. If he was a defensive-minded coach and they were winning like Tony Dungy, I've been like, I'll give him all the credit. But Sean McVay hadn't thrown one pass in the league. You can design everything you want to, but you need a trigger man, and I believe that they have that in Goff.
Your point about Cooper Kupp and the numbers we can show them to you are jarring. That was to me the line of demarcation in their season, even more than the Gurley injury.
Yeah.
The left side
did his IQ go down 40 points when Cooper Kupp got hurt?
Well, so the left, just so people understand what they're saying, is he got hurt week 10. Week 11, Jared Goff was a different player. And your point that did Sean McVay all of a sudden get worse? Okay, but the same can be applied to Jared Goff. And one of my pieces of skepticism is if you are only highly successful with all of the pieces in place, with the all-pro running back, with, I think, the best, most diverse talent of wide receivers, Brandon Cooks, deep threat, Robert Woods, kind of do-everything guy, Cooper Kupp, ideal slot receiver, then are you a guy that you want to tie yourself to for the next 5, 6, 7 years? The Rams answered unequivocally yes. As far as expectations, this is, I think, the one division in football Chris and I have the biggest disagreement on. He has the Rams winning it. I don't want to say comfortably, but I think you think pretty comfortably that they are clearly...
Well, I just think the Rams are going to win it. I think that's important. If they finish one game ahead of Seattle,
whatever
that's
it is.
all.
You think that they're the best team in the division. I think Seattle's going to win the division. I think the Rams are going to go from the Super Bowl to out of the playoffs. So that's probably one of the reasons we felt a little differently when we saw this contract, when we saw that the Rams were connected to Jared Goff moving forward. But it shouldn't come as a surprise because he was the #1 pick. They did go to the Super Bowl last year. That is the player, if he's your quarterback in those circumstances, that almost always in NFL history has been extended.
One reason why I would go forward with Goff, because I believe he'll be far more aggressive once he gets this contract throwing the ball. That's what Sean McVay is trying to do. But if he's not your franchise quarterback, how do you get one? So I allow him to play 2 more years. And then what do? I go back into the draft and do the same thing that I did before.
Right.
I watch college football. There ain't no college quarterback out there until Sunshine come from Clemson, my man Lawrence, in 2 years.
That's
like
no doubt.
That I would be like, okay, I'm ready to go back into that draft and try to duplicate what I think I already have in Goff. So to me, I believe he's a better passer than people give him credit because he's with the little baby genius.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.